Hello, hello, welcome to episode 96 of the Lorethrough, and we have more of Lanedale to get to. I went long last time, so let's try to clear as much of it as we can today while I point things out and hopefully not slow down too much. Will that prove true? Probably not, but we will try anyways. I finally decided to infuse a weapon with fire. Figured it'd be funny if I did it on the greatsword, because big damage, also eruption is neat looking, so... It probably would look better on, like, an axe or a hammer, something with more of a head to it, but I digress. So we're making our way up here. I have my notes in front of me, so hopefully we don't get too sidetracked. I tried to plan out Lanedale, but there's not enough room to do a map of it, from at least pictures I could find online, because I did plot out a map for this, and it just didn't seem to happen. Golden Firefly. And here we have the Erdtree avatar. We can summon to pray Perfumer Carman to help us out. As I get bopped here. I thought I was going to do a sweep after that. I was waiting for it. There we go. I think Carman's hitting him with flame too, so probably would have been more helpful. And we find a Lord's Rune. So that's a regular enemy. Not a boss. Kind of silly, because I think it shows up as a boss again later on. We will go to that upper area soon. TM. Alright, so coming out here. Well, that's the front gate. But we've already looked at it before, right? From above at the Divine Bridge, where there's just this huge gaping abyss in front of the front gate. What happened there? That's a good question, because I assume that that gaping abyss wasn't there earlier. And by earlier, I mean like when the Shattering War was going on as per the story cinematic, right? We're getting a little closer to the dragon, though. Smith and Stone. Alright. So, let's see. What do I have in my notes? Lanedale's main gate is kind of a mystery. In the story trailer for the game, we see a massive army assaulting it, yet by the events of the game, we see a massive chasm just beyond the main gate, and we can see that from the Divine Bridge like we have previously. And said gate, of course, is unguarded from the front, because there's nothing to guard, unless people want to fall into the abyss. What's below the abyss? We may not know for a hot minute. Not until we go underground. Spoilers. Alright. Oh. Wait a minute, I didn't want to go up over there just yet. I want to do the upper city, because it's self-contained. Okay. We are going to do the upper city. See how that goes. So we have these little alleyways that we can go to. And we have a soldier over here who will give us grief if we don't do something about him. Because he's close to the wall, the arrows dropped from lower down for some reason. That's just a thing that happens. So if you ever want to drop arrows on someone and you want to be most effective, make sure they're by a wall or under something. For some reason, it does a lot better than if they're in the wide open sky. Get a Lanedale soldier helm. Golden Rune. There we go. Greatsword Gaming. I wish I was better with the Greatsword PvP. Oh, a level 12 Golden Rune. Have we found one of those yet? What's its description like? Oh, don't mind that. What was even that alarm? On my phone. How unprofessional. Okay, it's the same as the other ones. Of that high tier. So we killed this guy relatively quickly. There is a Lanedale Knight over there. But I think we can sneak behind this perfumer possibly. Yeah. Very nice. are able to hastily take care of him. Alright. There's a little bit of a lower area over here. I think we'll explore it briefly. There's hand creepers in the sewers, of course. Why wouldn't there be? And I'm coming over here just to knock the ladder down. I don't think we're gonna do this part just yet. But there is an omen killer down there. We're kicking down the ladder. Just so we have access to it later. I don't think we'll even need it or want it, but it's there. Honestly, thinking about the whole zone, the entirety of it, you don't ever really need that ladder in particular. And it would probably only help invaders, so maybe not worth kicking down. There's another ladder that's in the Shaded Castle that's near the end, right before you go up the elevator to the boss fight. And that ladder's also not worth really kicking down. I mean, it can provide a shortcut. I guess it'd be nice if you have trouble with that boss. But otherwise, it just seems like one that would be most useful. Oh, I'm gonna get shot here. Oh, I ducked the arrow. Did you see that? Oh, that was neat. Ooh, I angered everybody. You know what that means. Ooh, it's time for war crimes. Oh, free damage. Oh, shucks, he hit me through everything. He hasn't been war crimed at all. He was too smart. I'm gonna use the stairs for cover for a moment. Buddy, come fight me. Nothing bad will happen. Ooh. Cut that a little close there with his spell. Though I think it was Rejection and not Wrath of Gold, so... Find a brass shield. Lots of tasty doodads. Okay, I do want to switch my weapons, though, because of the enemy that is coming up here. So let's sneak up behind him. Oh, we can't sneak up behind him. I'm going to deal with you first. Ah, it ate my input, I promise. I was mashing it. Oh, dear. Okay. Finally, go. Didn't lock on, but we get somber stones and lots of other tasty doodads and a perfumer hood. Golden rune. Hero's rune. Okay, and there's a abyss we cannot pass. It will kill us. I don't know why looking down here reminds me of the King's Garden in Dark Souls 3 where Osiris is, or Saros, or whatever his name is. The fake bad dragon man. The one that has no scales. So, here, oh, there we see it, just for a moment. There is a legendary item on the spear bolt looking thing. And there is a way to get it early, actually. Normally you'd have to defeat the boss of the area, which is in that building. There's another boss past him. But what we can do is we can jump to this gazebo. Ooh! Get a stone sword key, and we can effectively jump... Oh, I botched it. Oh, man. Oh, gonna have to go fast. Put our things away because we do not need them right now. Oh, I didn't grab this item either. Oh, I should probably finish exploring this upper area before I make that jump again. Actually, no. If we make the jump, we don't lose all that much time. Okay. So you want to jump onto that little lip there where those pillars are specifically. There we go. And then from there, you want to not do what I did. Are you kidding me? And you want to jump around the corner up the ledge, which isn't that hard, but I'm really dumb. And you have to put up with me. God, I swear every time I've done this, I've done it in one try. Of course, the time it's on camera, it takes multiple tries. There we go. No! Oh, this is miserable. If I have to speed up this part, I guess it'll happen, but... just angrily breaking things. Still, the roots growing throughout the city. Kind of interesting. Are those from the Erd Tree? Are they from the Great Tree? Why do I keep doing that? I need to get around the corner first. There we go. And then we do a standard jump. Yeah, just walk around the corner. Don't jump around the corner. Walk around the corner until you're on the outside of the pillar, and then jump up the little ashen embankment there. And here we get the Bolt of Grand Sax, which is, curiously enough, shaped just like the superstructure we find this on. Let's take a look at that. Spear whittled from the weapon wielded by Grand Sax. So I guess it was just a piece of it. One of the legendary armaments. A great ancient dragon, Grand Sax, once rained calamity upon the royal capital. The only time in historical record that Lanedel's walls have fallen. This marked the dawn of the war against the ancient dragons. So, kind of interesting. So that gives us a little more context for the dragon conflict against the, against Lanedel. And it's interesting because we learn through item descriptions that Godwyn was friends with the dragons at some point after their war. We hear the flautist from earlier there. We've kind of done a loop. Did that break his guard? What the? You were hearing that, right? I wonder if it's because it's hitting him twice and so it's resetting. Because I don't think their posture or guard works quite like players do. We have another one of these nasty half-formed golems. Probably should have pointed this out earlier. But yeah, he looks like a golem. And he has two faces. I'll, kind of hard to see. I'll get in front of him earlier this time. But yeah, look, he's got two faces kind of plastered to each other. He's got two noses, three eyes. So he is a hodgepodge. And from what we've seen of other golem weapons, or gargoyle weapons, they are fixed together using corpse wax. Which is a real thing. It's kind of the fatty after bits of a corpse, really. But it is a thing. It undergoes some sort of chemical process while breaking down and becomes soap, essentially. Eventually. Kind of interesting how he was able to fully resume his posture, but I still got the crit anyways. Ooh, one pickaxe for each. Fill in my inventory with garbage. So here, interestingly enough, we see one of these bowls. And we'll see many more of these bowls, right? But it's not like the bowls we've seen with this sort of pattern in the world at large. Those tend to be in roofless churches or underneath minor Erd trees. And they're often holding crystal tears. This one is in a gazebo. It's covered. Why would it be covered? Well, because you want to cover it. It's not a collection thing. Somebody brings a finished product here. What are they bringing here? A little hard to say, right? These ornate copper basins are all around Lanedel, and it seems that they could have been once used to store blessings that were collected from the Erd tree. And they're covered to likely keep them pure. right? And if the Erd Tree is ashy, then maybe that is another reason why. But that could be a separate thing, so don't worry about that necessarily. That's a silly tie-in that I didn't need to make. So, the Erd Tree's favor talisman, as I unequip it foolishly, we can see it's Queen Marika pouring out a blessing. This image is shown throughout the Lands Between, even as early as Stormvale Castle, right? And in the description itself, it says, it is said when the age of the Erd Tree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon the recipients by Queen Marika herself, right? The basins seem to be modeled after Christian baptismal fonts. I think specifically Eastern Orthodoxy, but I could be wrong on that one. It's not used to store the dew of the blessing, but it seems to be, it could have been for some sort of ritualistic baptizing of new members into the faith, potentially newborns, right? Because Melina says she was born at the foot of the Erd Tree, and it's said that those who are born at the foot of the Erd Tree are blessed. What if it was a blessing and it's a rebirth, a baptism? Right? And you're like, that's a lot of Christian iconography. Well, to be fair, Queen Marika is often shown in the, as if she is nailed to a cross. That's her, like, static pose throughout most of the game. So it's not my fault there's allusions to Christianity. That's Miyazaki's fault. So it's a little thing to consider. What if Melina wasn't necessarily born from the boughs of the Erd Tree like we see in so many depictions? What if she was reborn at the foot of the Erd Tree via one of these basins? What if perfumers are actually part of the clergy? And sure enough, the perfumers we see, they kind of dressed like Eastern Orthodox priests a little bit. There's some allusions there that you could draw, or some connections, similarities. So what if they are the new clergy? Then again, I still think that Queen Marika kind of stole the blessings, pouring out of blessings, cultural practice from whatever culture she usurped to give herself credibility. And sure enough, there are these stands here of materials, herbs, like you would mix into a, I forget what it's called. Oh, I'll remember. I think it's in my notes and I'll see it later. Let's see. Erd Tree capital perfumers resemble those who bless chrism. Chrism, it was the word I was looking for. Which they make every 10 years in Constantinople, which is modern-day Turkey, Even the costumes that they wear resemble the Byzantine Orthodox officials. I already talked about that briefly. Containers modeled after the characteristic jugs used for storing the chrism are found throughout Lanedale, and as are the stoves used to heat and prepare the mixture, so perfumers seem to be a little bit inspired by that. So they weren't just doctors, but they were some sort of clergy, by the looks of it. We can even see the perfumers praying at the ornate copper basins. We could see this one doing that before we killed him mercilessly. And, of course, there's the supply of herbs located nearby each basin, so we should keep our eyes open for that as well. I think we are good to make our way to the lower city. I think we're going to go to the other lower part of the city, actually. I'm trying to remember which one I'm supposed to do first, if it's this lower part or the other lower part, but I guess it doesn't matter so much. I think we are good to sit down since we aren't going to the upper part again, so. Nothing important will have been respawned, and we shouldn't run into it since we are taking a different track, so. Let's get to it. Making okay time. Man, these episodes were going to be long. I knew it. I felt it in my bones. If I was just rushing through the area, I'd be fine, but there's so much to look at and talk about. So many pieces of interesting lore. And yeah, so we have more of these chrism holding pot looking things. Nice little study. Honestly, this place would have been beautiful and fun to hang out about. No wonder they thought so highly of themselves. It's just such a nice looking city. And here we get to the lower city, which looks distinctly Sellian. Even the patterns, as I pass by my telescope 30 times, They look Sellian a little bit with those non-distinct floral patterns that are only distinct to each other. Look at all these buildings. There's heaps of corpses. There's skeletons here. Those who live in death. Hanging up in the trees there. Something terribly wrong has happened here. And there's even more ash. And sure enough, yeah, these buildings look Sellian by design. I am probably bumping the microphone with the edge of my glasses. I need to not do that. I apologize. Oh no! He grabbed me so fast! Alright. These guys are getting really close to dying in one hit, so let's buff this sucker. Ah. I thought we could handle it. And more of these places are also sealed up with wax. This lower part of the city. Kind of interesting. Does his friend not care? I guess not. Those corpses sure do have a lot of health to them, though. Maybe they are deadened to the pain. There we go. Find smithing stone. In this strangely Sellian-looking place. The windows and the doors in Lanedale seem to be sealed here with wax. I've pointed out that from before. From the heaps of ash, much like during the American Dust Bowl, I'm reading over my notes, so excuse me for a moment, where people would use tar paper, if they could afford it, to seal off their homes to keep off the incessant dust. The ash appears to come from the Erd tree, as it is not localized around Grandsax, whose bolt we found. Yeah. So many corpses. Yeah, so it's not even like there's huge heaps of ash over here even. Well, heaps of bodies here. Guess I could have blown a little bit, but we saw the ash as far away as over here, so. And Grandsax is over here. So it's quite a distance. Huge heaps, even some places higher than where Grandsax is at. So it must have come from the Erd tree. I need to work my way. Yeah, so the ash must have been from a previous burning of some kind. Okay. I think we want to head over here first. I think this is a smaller area. Good thing he missed. Jeez. Let them rage out there while I loot their coffers. Fergal blooms. They do like their electric pots. Which, to be fair, they grow in fields outside. Why wouldn't they abuse them? There we go. Clarifying boluses. Another dagger. Oh, so many daggers. And this is a ladder that we can... Oh my gosh, there are so many of you. Everywhere, all the time. Such a chore. Okay. We can work our way up this ladder here. And this is a door we can open to access the balcony side of Grace that we've already been to. Yep, the balcony side of Grace that is up here. Yep. Okay, so we were going to work our way back. This was probably the long way. I probably would have been better off just jumping off the balcony, but I might as well show how the zone connects to itself. And by that I meant that the Grace that I was just looking at was up there. So we could have hopped down here as we proceed into this lower portion. So this fellow is offering his adulation to the sky. Or maybe that particular branch of the Erd tree. He really likes it. Oh, shucks. Well, I get to show off the grab. Let me go. Oh, God. Give him a goal. Whoa. Oh, good. I was like, his posture has to be close. Oh, he's still exploding. Give him a good old head smack. Shucks. He grabbed me again. Oh, I shouldn't have used those super long moves. Come on, let me go. Oh, come on. I am not dying here. I refuse. You asked for it, you horrible beastie. War crimes. How unsatisfying. To be fair, the War Crimes only does like 17 to 1800 damage, so it only really works as a finisher. But we get a golden seed from that. But yeah, strangely Sellian style architecture. And I need a little more information before I can really rant about why it's all Sellian shaped. I feel like I think we need to go underground. And by underground, I mean like a whole different zone that we won't see for a little bit. Alright, over here we find cracked pot. Okay, I want to rant about it a little bit. Why are there Sellian stuff? Why is there Sellian stuff here? You know? Why is there Sellian stuff in the middle of Lane-Dell? The lower part, even the ghettos even. Ah, there's an arrow up there. Shucks. I don't even know what it is, but I have to go grab it. And I would like to rant about it, but I don't think I have the credentials to rant about it just yet. Not yet. We're getting close, but no cigar. Yeah, I think we need the context of one more zone before I can appropriately rant about this place. Oh, we find the black bow. I couldn't remember where it was. So black bow is nice. It is a longbow, and it's the only longbow that has barrage on it. It is a dex scaling bow. It's pretty alright. Because it does barrage, it's great for status build-up in arrows. Because it is a longbow, not a short bow, it seems to have probably the best damage of any bow that can have barrage on it. I just wanted to. Okay. Yeah, we'll explore this stretch of the sewer really fast. Everything's draped in water, which sucks, because I think those particular enemies, the finger creepers and rats, are weak to fire. So them having water makes them less weak to fire. Here we find another guilty hood, and we were able to buy one from the merchant on Mount Gelmir. So you can get two in a playthrough, kind of silly. Makes you wonder why they included it twice. It's almost like they really wanted you to see the lore of it. Maybe we will do this upper part. Yeah, I think this will be more fitting. Wow, he turns around like instantly. Wow, he notices as I jump right into his attack. Oh. He dies, and we get the Omen Smirk mask. Not the Omen Killer mask, the Omen Smirk mask. It gives you 2 points of strength. Mask with long, hideously twisted horns worn by the Omen Killers. Increases strength. Bears the smirking face of an elder, twisted in wicked delight. This visage is carved in the image of the evil spirits that haunt the Omen in their nightmares. And sure enough, when we see any Omen sleeping, they seem to be trembling in their sleep, suffering from nightmares. So, it seems that the Omen Killers are a variety of a perfumer that like to haunt the Omen and other lesser creatures. Omen Killer robe. Thick apron is worn in resemblance of Rollo, the progenitor of the Omen Killers, and a perfumer of antiquity. Gloves worn by Omen Killers. Stiff leather. It's probably the Omen Killer cleaver where we learn most of that. So we find the Lionel set here on this bed. And I'll go on a rant about Rollo, don't worry. I think we specifically want to find his ashes first before I do that. So it'll kind of piece together what we know about perfumers and Omen Killers all in one. So here we find the Lionel set. So let's take a look at that. So, round iron helm with a distinctive large brim, worn by Lionel the Lionhearted. Here we just found his armor, and a charred corpse by the looks of it. So maybe it was on the charred corpse. When this chivalrous dauntless knight met Fia, who had been driven from her home, he declared himself to be her father. Literally her father? Maybe not. Maybe figuratively. Yep, says much the same thing. Is this altered? No, you can alter it to remove its cloak, though. So, very heavy set. Not as heavy as the Bull Goat, but in the same bracket. And we also find the deathbed dress, which looks a lot like Fia's dress underneath her black outer dress. It looks like the little white part that goes around her neck specifically. So it's an inner portion, a nightgown of sorts. Extremely thin and sheer white dress worn by the deathbed companion as she embraces the dead. Slowly replenishes HP of nearby allies, but not that of the wearer. Kind of funny. The touch of the fabric is exceedingly soft, so as to not harm even the most withered corpse, while still sharing her warmth. And I do want to go on a little bit of the Langdale rant. Or the, see how much I can do functionally. Alright, so this area looks like Celia, right? Let's see. Celia, town of sorcery. Beneath it are the ruins of Nukron a little bit and the dynasty, right? Then we have Noxtella, which we haven't been able to get to proper just yet. Is underneath over here where we saw the Dynast ruins. Interestingly enough. And then over here is another set of buildings that look like Celia. And underneath it, though we don't know it yet, is another Eternal City. I'm just trying to figure out how much I can really feasibly talk about. Let me get a drink while I think about this. Hold on. So, it seems that the Eternal City was a culture that existed pre-Langdale in some capacities. It had little pockets. They were possibly the Eternal Cities, right? Kind of reminds me of Rome, of course. Rome, Athens, and what's it called? The one Alexandria, the one over in Egypt. Those three parts of the Eternal Empire of Rome. I really wish I had all my notes in front of me. You know what? Let's talk about this lower church first. Sorry. So here we find the Lionel set, the deathbed dress, the Omen smirk mask. The lower capital church is clearly a Celia Eternal City chapel, repurposed for worshipping the Erd Tree, or maybe even the Great Tree, given that it has this funky relief here, which wouldn't be all that odd for being in Langdale other than this is a Celian part of town. Right? It's even got those windows with the Celian stuff. And so it seems likely that this might have been the early part of the Erdtree cult, the very starts of it, right? This may be the humble beginnings of the Golden Order tree cult. Let's see, what else is there? Gall, I'm flubbing this, aren't I? And so it seems that there are connections between the towns that look like Celia and the underground Noxtella, Necron cities, right? And there's also the big old gaping void over there, right? And if we know that there's an eternal city underneath, then it seems that they were banished underground. Oh, God, I am really flubbing this. I might have to talk about this a little later. I just don't have enough pieces. We'll get there. We'll think about it a little more. And I'll try not to waste your time so much. But I do want to get to the next site of grace, which isn't too far off, so we will go beneath now. God, I feel so bad not having all those thoughts organized. I really should, and I do, but I also don't want to be completely spoilery. So it's really wrecking my rant. Their collision boxes linger a good while after they're dead. And they drop somber 4s if you're needing any. Kind of funny how the ones in Carrier Manor drop somber 2s and these ones drop somber 4s. Find a lost ashes of war, and water running down the brickwork as to make it almost look like a fog wall. Kind of funny. All right. Let's continue onward. Ever onward. Hopefully not wasting too much time. I did take my sweet time talking about a lot of these silly concepts. Really? There we go. Over here we have some nascent butterflies and a item we can't get on a body. And we see albinurics, rats, and finger creepers down in the sewers. The dredges of society nobody wants. Including this gargoyle that we are mysteriously behind. So, Holy Proof Dried Liver. Another Erdsteel Dagger, so you can get two. One from Kenneth Height, one here. Okay, and I want a different sort of weapon. I don't think I've shown off the Serpent Hunter just yet. I did upgrade it. It's a pretty good weapon. It's got 463 damage at +6. It is a strength weapon predominantly. It's an okay weapon. It's fairly useful for one-on-one duels because its crouch poke is very good. Very reminiscent of a pre-nerf crouch poke on Colossal Swords. Gives us an opportunity to get behind this lad as well, who's shooting arrows at us from the other Grace. I wonder if I can hit him with the Great Serpent Hunt, actually. That'll be funny. That Ash of War is so bad. Hits hard, so maybe it's good as a stealth tool. This guy's examining his friend. It's so fast. Look at these crouch pokes. It's fast for a weapon that stumbles on every single darn hit. It does kill the biggins, though. Okay. And, shucks, there is a thing over here. I do want the beetle dead. I don't think we're gonna hop down there just yet, though. There's the beetle. So the easy way to handle this... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, I lost it. That's on me. Oh. Oh, I hate that. I didn't want to risk jumping over and wasting so much more time, but by not deciding quickly enough, I ruined it for everyone. Alright, fine. They want to play hardball? We'll play hardball. Play so much hardball. Alright. Not that one. We want the buff arrow. Specifically. And I'm going to hit him with one of these now that I'm buffed, because that should finish him off. No, it does not. There we go. Was he trying to grab me? You weirdo. Oh, I don't want any part of this. I have to kill these guys again. Good old big bonks. Okay, look at how many arrows he put. Chunk, 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 chunk. Just in the wall there. Very good archer. The best they have. Alright, and here's the front gate. Or it would have been. So this little roadway here likely would have led to the front gate before it fell into the abyss. So it seems that the eternal city of Lanedale was once the eternal city like Necron or Noxtella. Perhaps an earlier iteration of it. It was likely a little more than an outpost or a settlement for a culture like the Sellians, likely a part of the same empire. And the Erdtree faith eventually came to... the Erdtree faith not only came to prominence, but also eventually usurped their fellows. So it kind of explains... Because the Newman... Oh, I don't think we know enough about the Newman. We know that Queen Marika is like the Newman. And we know there's some sort of tie-in between the Newman and the Black Knife Assassins. Oh, I'm trying to remember where we know that from, though. I'll get this whole rant organized soon, don't worry. I'm just kind of thinking it out loud, unfortunately, while I'm trying to put things together. Okay. Lots of gravelstone. Oh, we missed each other. And here we see a fortified building that has a lion on it. And that'll be good talkings for next time. So don't you worry about it. Okay. Alright, so we're going to cut the episode there. Sorry, it went a little long. I wanted to get to the next site of grace. But I will hopefully have my rants ironed out by next time. I apologize greatly for that. And I'll see if I can do it in a non-spoilery way. But that's life. There's just so many theories to talk about. But tune in next time for episode 97. I thank you for having me with me, and bye-bye now.